Do you ever feel like the world has quietly decided on a race you never signed up for? You scroll, you watch, you listen, and it seems like everyone else has already crossed the finish line. Friends are getting married, buying homes, holding newborns, or posting about their dream jobs. Meanwhile, you're still at the starting line, holding your ticket, wondering if the train has already left. If that's where you are today, take a slow, deep breath with me. You are not late. I'm Evie, and this is a space where we walk through thoughts like these together, a space where English learning becomes something more than grammar and vocabulary. It becomes a way to listen deeply, to slow your mind, and to hear your own voice more clearly. Think of this as language learning without pressure. Just stories, emotions, and real connection in English. By the end of our time today, I want you to feel lighter, stronger, and a little more at peace with your own pace in life. So stay close. We'll take this one step at a time, together.
Let's pull this feeling apart for a moment. When we say, "I feel behind in life," what does that actually mean? Usually, it's not about facts. It's about an invisible timeline, a quiet voice in your head that whispers, by 25, I should have done this. By 30, I should have achieved that. But here's the truth. No one wrote that timeline in the sky. It didn't arrive sealed in an envelope with your birth certificate. It's stitched together from social media feeds, family expectations, movies, and stories that were never truly yours. And the danger? You begin to measure your life by someone else's clock, forgetting that your own clock ticks to a different rhythm. So before you label yourself behind, ask, behind according to who? Because maybe you're not behind at all. Maybe you're exactly where your journey needs you to be.
Comparison is as human as breathing. It's how we make sense of where we stand in the world. But today, it's no longer just the neighbor's new car or your cousin's wedding. It's an endless scroll of curated victories, all streaming into your hands 24 hours a day. You open Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, and there it is. Someone your age is backpacking through Asia. Another is launching a business. Another just bought their second home. And you're sitting here still figuring out your verbs and tenses. But remember this, what you see is a highlight reel, not the uncut version. You don't see the months of fear, the years of trial and error, the moments they almost gave up. It's like reading chapter 20 of someone's story and wondering why your chapter 1 doesn't look the same. Different chapters, different books, different journeys. So the next time comparison creeps in, pause and ask yourself, am I seeing the whole story or just the polished cover? Now let's bring this closer to home. If you've ever felt behind in life, chances are you've felt it in your English learning too. Maybe you've thought, I'm too old to start. I should be fluent by now. If only I'd learned 5 years earlier. These thoughts feel real, but they're not facts. They're fears dressed up as truth. And fears have a way of slowing your steps, making you speak less, try less, risk less. But language grows in the opposite conditions, in spaces where you dare to open your mouth, even if the words aren't perfect, in moments when you laugh at your mistakes instead of hiding from them. So here's what we'll do. We'll take it one thought at a time, one word at a time, one small, brave step at a time, and we'll walk it together. Let's try a different thought for a moment. What if you're not late at all? What if right now you are exactly on time for your own story? Think about everything you've been through, the detours you didn't expect, the lessons you didn't plan to learn, the storms you didn't think you could survive, but did. Maybe those moments weren't delays. Maybe they were the training ground, shaping you for what's ahead. Maybe you weren't meant to peak early. Maybe your story is still gathering power. It's like planting seeds in a quiet field. For months, nothing seems to happen. Then one morning, the first green shoots break through, right on time, not a day earlier, not a day later. And maybe this is your season to grow.
You've probably heard the saying, life is not a race. It's true, yet so many of us live as if we're sprinting toward an invisible finish line. We rush through school, we rush to get a job, we rush to get married, to buy a house, to start a family. And in that rush, we miss the texture of the journey, the details that make life worth living. But what happens when you slow down? You notice more. You breathe deeper. You learn better. Even your English starts to grow in richer ways when you're not chasing the clock. Life isn't a sprint. It's more like a long, winding marathon. And sometimes it's a beautiful walk through a park you've never explored before. When you stop running just to keep up, you start moving at the pace that was meant for you all along. There will always be moments when someone seems far ahead of you. That's life. But how you respond to those moments, that's where your power is. Instead of letting jealousy or discouragement settle in, try this. Let their success be a map, not a mirror. A mirror says you're behind. A map says, here's what's possible. And here's how you might get there. Ask yourself, what can I learn from their path? What steps did they take that I could try in my own way? It's like watching a climber reach the top of a mountain. You can stand at the base feeling small, or you can study their route, check your gear, and start your own climb at your own pace. Because the view will still be beautiful when you get there. Believing you are too late is more than just discouraging. It's dangerous. Why? Because the moment you accept that thought, you stop trying. You give up before the journey even begins. The too late mindset builds invisible walls, walls that keep you from starting a new career, walls that keep you from learning a new language, walls that keep you from taking the chance you secretly dream about. But here's the truth. It might be difficult, it might take longer than you hoped, but late is not a real number. You can start learning English now. You can return to school now. You can change direction now. The only clock that matters is the one you set for yourself. Starting doesn't always mean a dramatic leap. Sometimes it's the smallest, quietest step that changes everything. It could be pressing play on a video like this one, practicing one sentence out loud, learning a single new word and actually using it today. These steps may seem too small to matter, but they're like drops of water filling a jar. One drop isn't much, but over time, the jar overflows. You don't have to wait for perfect conditions. You don't need the right mood, the right day, or the right year. You just need to start where you are, with what you have, right now. Because momentum doesn't come from thinking about the journey, it comes from taking the first step. Let me share a few reminders that timing is rarely as fixed as we think. Morgan Freeman didn't land his breakthrough acting role until his 50s. Vera Wang didn't become a fashion designer until age 40. And there are English learners in their 60s who went from shy beginners to fluent speakers, not because they had perfect conditions, but because they kept showing up. These stories matter because they prove something simple. It's not about the age on your passport. It's about persistence. It's about staying in the game when it would be easier to sit on the sidelines. Every year you're alive is still a year you can build something new. And the path you've walked so far
might be exactly what makes your future richer, fuller, and uniquely yours. When you catch yourself thinking, I should have done this earlier, try replacing it with, I'm doing this now. That small shift changes everything. It moves you from regret into action, from looking back to stepping forward. Your timeline doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It's not a copy of your friends, your siblings, or some influencers online. It's yours, and that makes it valid, no matter how different it seems. So next time you feel behind, pause and ask, am I truly behind or just walking a different road? Because often the only thing separating too late from right on time is the story you choose to tell yourself.
One of the reasons we feel stuck is because progress rarely announces itself. It doesn't always show up in big cinematic moments. It often hides in the quiet details you barely notice. It's in understanding a sentence today that confused you last year. It's in saying something out loud without freezing and only realizing afterward that you didn't hesitate. It's in the way you recover from mistakes faster than you used to. These are not small things. They are the bricks of your foundation. And when you stack enough of them, one day you'll look back and see how high you've built without even realizing it along the way. Life and language learning is not just about the destination. If you're only staring at the finish line, you'll miss the beauty of the road beneath your feet. The truth is, the part where you're still figuring things out is the part that shapes you most. It's where your resilience grows. It's where your voice finds its depth. It's where you discover that you can keep moving forward even without all the answers. So instead of waiting to celebrate someday, find a reason to celebrate today. The conversation you dared to start, the phrase you finally understood, the courage it took to show up and try again. Because the journey is not just how you get there, it's what makes arriving mean something. There will be days when motivation feels far away, days when nothing seems to click, and you wonder if it's even worth it. On those days, don't focus on the finish line. Focus on showing up. Open your notebook. Press play on an English video. Repeat one sentence out loud. Consistency isn't built from perfect days. It's built from present ones. Even the smallest effort is a thread in the larger fabric of your progress. And over time, those threads weave into something strong enough to carry you forward, even when your energy feels low. If you're listening to this right now, you've already proven something important. You're still here. You're still learning. You're still willing to invest in yourself. That is strength. Not the loud, flashy kind, but the steady, quiet kind that keeps you moving when no one's watching. Every time you choose to keep going, even when progress feels slow, you're building more than language skills. You're building resilience. You're showing yourself that you can be trusted to keep your own promises. And that kind of strength, it lasts far longer than any moment of quick success. When you stop forcing life to happen faster, something shifts. You breathe easier. You notice more. You give yourself room to grow. In English, in life, in every part of who you are. Trusting your timing doesn't mean doing nothing. It means moving forward without panic. It means believing that the pace you're at can still lead you to where you want to be. And when you carry that trust, you start to speak more freely, learn more deeply, and live with a softer kind of confidence. You're not behind. You're just getting started. And that is exactly the right place to be. The truth is, the feeling of being behind will come back from time to time. That's normal. It doesn't mean you failed, it just means you're human. When it shows up, come back to this. You are not late.
You are learning. You are growing. You are becoming. You don't need to be the fastest. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to keep going, step by step, at the pace that's yours alone. Because the race you think you're in, it was never a race at all. So, what have we learned today? That life is not a race, that your path is unique, and it is valid. That it is never too late to begin again, whether in English, in your career, or in any dream you've kept tucked away. Take this with you. When doubt starts to whisper, "You're late," answer back, "I'm right on time." Let that be the sentence you carry into your mornings, your lessons, and your quiet moments of choice. Because every step you take from here, no matter how small, is still forward. And forward is always enough. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm Evie, and I'll see you in the next episode of Learn English with Evie.